right, here we go. What's going on? The Boxer Source here checking in, and I'm thankful to be on here with Shane Mosley Jr. as he prepares for his upcoming bout against Jesus Ramos Jr. for the interim WBC middleweight title. The fight is on December 6th on Amazon Prime pay-per-view out there in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, brother Shane, how has camp been over the past couple of weeks?
Oh, it's been great, brother. It's really, really been good. I love the announcement. That was like dope. I felt like official. I felt like I was going into an official thing right now. So yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's been going well, man. Just training hard and preparing for this upcoming event, and my making my dreams come true.
Yeah, I had to, get the introduction like I'm Brian Custer or something like that. So I
That's right. That's right.
use it like that. Now, there's been a lot of respect from the both of you leading into this bout, given that you've worked out with him in the past.
Yeah,
But as the saying goes, what's the past has passed, and now you're about to step in the ring there with Jesus Ramos. What
absolutely.
is your mindset going for this upcoming fight in San Antonio?
Just being my best. When I'm at my best, I beat really good, great fighters. You know what I mean? I beat Danny Jacobs, Gabe Rosado, a few others, and so it's just like when I'm at my best, I'm great. So that's what I want to pull out and show December 6th.
Yeah, you had that five-fight winning streak, going into this particular bout, and as you mentioned, there you had that win over Daniel Jacobs, of course, like a former world champion there within the middleweight division and things like that. Now, given Ramos has been fighting the majority of his career at around 154 pounds, has had a couple of fights above that weight class or something like that. Do you feel like that is a factor going into this fight, given your experience at 160 pounds?
No, I just got to fight my fight, man. I can't worry about none of those things. I got to be the best Shane Mosley that there is. Be sharp, and I'm not worried about whether or not I'm bigger or nothing like that, or he's bigger. No, none of that matters. You know what I mean? None
Right.
of that matters. What matters is beating him and being able to adjust to whatever he has coming.
Now, he's going into this fight like locked in. We had like a comment reference to the fight and facing you there, and said that of course like you're a great fighter that's never been stopped, but he's aiming to be the first fighter to get the stoppage win over you. Like how do you respond to something like that with him making that comment?
It's not that's not for me. You know what I mean? Like that has nothing to do with me. It's stuff that he's talking about, speaking about, and stuff like that. So that has nothing to do with me. And I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? I have my thoughts and my feelings about what I want to do and stuff like that, and it doesn't concern him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same with that comment, it doesn't concern me. That's what he wants to do and achieve, and good on him.
Right, right. You like, we'll see what happens, come
Exactly.
December 6th on that front. Yeah, for sure. So
Exactly.
now from 2023 up to this particular point, there's been a gap in between the fights that you've had, and there's been some buzz about that. Like, talk has been that, maybe there have been some issues in securing fights over that period of time. I think, maybe your father has kind of hinted at it here in the recent past year. Now, was that the case, or was it something different, like maybe injuries kind of halted fights from happening, or something similar to that?
It's just been securing fights, man. This fight game is a little bit more difficult than just, oh yeah, I want to fight you. I want to fight you. Okay, great. What I mean? It's like it's a little bit more difficult than that. Obviously, promotional stuff or just fights not coming together because of all kinds of things. But um, yeah, it just kind of is what it is, and I got this fight, so I'm excited. And obviously it got postponed, but I'm glad that it's back on and not too far away, right? Like we didn't have to start completely all over again. So I love that.
Yeah, word. Because I mean, we could have had the fight on October 25th,
Right.
but it just didn't necessarily happen. And sometimes, that could be a little bit of a deterrent of sorts, because it's like you had the whole thing, you were getting prepared, you're in camp, getting ready,
Yep.
almost, getting close to fight week, and then it doesn't necessarily happen. But as you said, there just about a minute ago, that's part of the game here in boxing. So you always gotta, be prepared and be like, okay, maybe they'll have something in the works for you later on down the line, and that's what
Yeah.
we get here for
Yeah.
December 6th.
And I believe that it is God's plan. You know what I mean? It's God's plan. Whatever, for whatever reason, I couldn't fight. We couldn't fight then. So it's God's plan for us to fight December 6th. And God willing, that will happen. And what will be, will be.
Word, for sure. Now, with the win over Jesus Ramos Jr., you get to be the interim WBC champion there at 160 pounds. Now, the co-feature bout in this card has two world champions going at it in Erislan De Lara and Janibek Alamhala. Now, after December 6th, what would be your plan to get a shot at one of those guys, or maybe the WBC champion there, Carlos Adames?
I want it all. I want it all. I'm not sure what I would have to do. Obviously, being the interim champion, you kind of have the fallback of all of those things. But I think I have a little bit of leverage with my name. You know what I mean? That can sell fights and sorts, and that's what we're doing: selling products and selling fights, entertainment. So I think with that, I would have the some leverage to get those fights. And that's what I want. I want Carlos Adames. I want Janibek or Lara. I've been wanting Lara for the longest. I mean, since I beat Gabe Rosado, I was calling out Lara. But so I'm actually surprised that Lara is the one fighting Janibek and not Carlos Adames. But hey, I'm glad he stood up and took the fight. But nevertheless, like either one of those guys. But the first part of that is we got to deal with on December 6th. We don't want to get too far in the future, because the future can't happen if we're not in the present. So yes, that is the goal. But my now is Jesus Ramos.
Gotcha. Yep. So you have this thing here upcoming December 6th on Amazon Prime pay-per-view against Jesus Ramos Jr. for the interim WBC middleweight title. And when it comes to after take care of business there, as they say, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You want it all. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely look forward to seeing you there in action on that fight card there, headlined by Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Rose Jr. there for the interim title that Isaac Cruz has. So definitely looking forward to that. And big thanks here for taking the time to speak with the Boxing Source, and looking forward to seeing you there in action on December 6th in San Antonio, Texas.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate the time. And we're going to have some great fights December 6th.
Yes, sir.